Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Chai, and if you're new to my channel, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share my videos so that you can get more updates on how to be a J-1 visa teacher here in the United States. And so I have here with me my son. Say hi. Hi. So, kakarating lang niya guys last July, like end of July. But I'm so happy that we're already together. So I'm also going to cover another vlog and how to get your J2 dependence and how to bring your family over here in the United States. With my previous vlogs, guys, many Filipino teachers are asking me to cover a content that relates to student behavior here in the United States or on how to manage classroom issues or classroom behavioral issues here in the United States. So for today's vlog, we are going to talk about it. I'm not an expert, however, we can share together with my Filipino teachers here. We can share our personal experiences on what strategies or discipline techniques that work for us here. So yeah guys, I think you're going to agree with me if I'm going to say that no one is an expert when it comes to managing students' behavior, no matter how much experience you have, no matter how long you have been in the teaching field. But we as Filipino teachers teaching in a foreign country like in the United States, I believe that it really requires more effort, knowledge, resources, and a strong personality that can really help us with managing or dealing classroom issues. If you're going to ask me guys to compare our students back home and our students here in the United States, I'm telling you there's really a great difference, especially when it comes to their culture, how they value education, how outspoken they are, or how expressive they are when it comes to their opinions and their ideas, and many other things. But then we're not just going to focus on how they behave or how different are they from our students in the Philippines, but then we're just going to focus on how to apply different strategies and discipline techniques to just minimize and manage our classroom very well, or to maintain a very organized classroom and well-disciplined student. With my 3 years teaching experience here guys in the United States, I have come to realize that managing students' behavior is such a difficult task to deal with. But if you are just going to apply proactive steps, I think it will be easier for us to address our students' behavioral issues, especially those students who are acting out of frustrations, boredom, or other mental health issues, or a variety of impulse that causes them or that cause them to disrupt classes. So when I started teaching here in the United States, I already applied this classroom management strategies, but we just have to keep in mind guys that this is not magic, so it's not as effective as how you started applying them or implementing them. However, as months pass, years pass, then you'll be very good and will be very, very effective when it comes to disciplining your students using these classroom strategies. So I'm going to share my classroom strategies, but these are based on research that I have just read from Google, and then I just applied it and I found out that it's really, really effective for me to use throughout the year. So then let's get started. So as teacher guys, we all know that aside from lesson planning or creating lessons, teaching the lesson, scoring and giving grades to our students' assignments and classwork, or giving our students assistance, providing them interventions, remediation, or doing some administrative tasks, or even getting involved in different sports or different school activities, or even in the after-school programs. It's been a tedious task for us. However, we also need to prioritize defining our classroom strategies that we can really use and apply throughout the year. So with our first strategy, guys, I know most or even all of the teachers have been applying this in our class. So the first one is to engage your class in setting the behavior expectations. And we usually do this during the first day of the school year, or first week of the school year. So we really need to involve our students in setting up the behavioral expectations, in setting up the classroom rules and policies. But we as teachers need to define them, and we should state that on our syllabus or even post that on the walls of our classroom. So when we are going to experience an on-the-spot classroom disruption, guys, we can apply the second strategy. And this is to provide immediate but subtle corrections, which means in dealing with the situation, we have to stay calm and we have to take the disruptions in a composed manner. And we need to remember as well that we don't have to take the situation personally, so that we can still maintain our authority as a teacher in the classroom. Another thing, guys, if you would like our students to do better in following our classroom rules and policies, we can apply the third strategy, and this is to model and promote positive behavior, which means as a teacher, we can model those behaviors for our students, and we can give praises and rewards using the positive reinforcement techniques to those students who are following our classroom rules and policies that may help and may influence those students who are defiant to follow our classroom rules. And as foreign teachers here in the United States, guys, we need to be aware of the cultural differences. We need to try as much as possible. We really need to try to understand the students' behavior on where they're coming from, and we need to avoid the win-lose conflicts, which means instead of focusing on the punishment, we need to emphasize the problem solving. Like, we need to try to understand the behavior of our student, and we also need to treat them with respect, with politeness, and with love and care. It is also very important, guys, to engage parents with positive communication opportunities, in which we are going to inform the parents through letter, through phone call, through text messaging, with regards to their students' behavior in the classroom. So we need to get them involved, and we need to let them be aware of how are their students acting in the classroom, so that probably we can get a family background on what's happening in their home, and we can address the issues with understanding and with strategies that can really work well when it comes to fixing the problems in the classroom. And aside from that, guys, always remember that we need to always document. So it is very important here in the United States that whatever disruptions, whatever cases or behavioral issues that you're facing here, always document, because documentation is a very important tool for us that will serve as an evidence when it comes to, just protecting ourselves and keeping ourselves secure when it comes to lawsuits or when it comes to parents' complaints and students' complaints. Guys, you can also use technology tool to keep track on your students' behavior and to ignite their motivation and determination as well to follow your classroom rules and policies. So one of my Filipino teachers here, or one of my colleagues here, share her expertise when it comes to using the technology application in tracking her students' behavior. So you better watch until the end, guys. It's also important, guys, that when you are in the middle of discussion and then there are some students who are doing side talks or side conversations, or those students who are tapping their feet or tapping their fingers, or those students who are tactile and causing noises in the classroom, it is also important for us to use non-verbal cues to refocus the students. So that is, our non-verbal cues are very important for me, because it will help you still manage the class in a manner which not disrupting the entire class or not disturbing the entire discussion that you have. So I think non-verbal cues are really effective. However, we also need to categorize or to to identify those nonverbal cues that can be very helpful, because we need to use nonverbal cues that cannot be misinterpreted by our students as well. So I guess, guys, those are the only strategies that I commonly use throughout the year or throughout the school year since I started teaching here until now, and probably more years to come. But then we need to remember, guys, that not all strategies will work well with our class. It depends on how students respond to those strategies. However, we have to remember, or we just have to keep in mind, I think, that we still need to keep our calm or keep our cool, and we still need to be consistent on those strategies until such time that we can let those unresponsive students follow our classroom rules and policies. And I think that will be a very fulfilling part on our end, because we didn't stop trying. And it's also important that as calm teachers as we are, as empathetic as we are, as unshakable as we are, I think we'll get better results at the end. So guys, we are going to interview now or ask other Filipino teachers here in our school on how they manage their students' behavior in their classes. So let's watch this.
Good morning, my name is Evangeline Balucas and welcome to my classroom. So I've been handling middle school for 4 years now, so this has been my 4th year of teaching here in the USA. So being in the middle school is really tough. It's very challenging because you're going to deal with, the behavior of the students, like they're adjusting to something, the puberty stage and all. So it's really challenging, but you just have to be firm with your classroom management. As much as possible, you really have to handle the situation in the classroom, but worst comes to worst, it is also alright to call the parents and inform them about the behavior of their students here in the classroom. As much as possible, I don't like to call the parents or to bug them. As much as possible, I need to handle the situation within the classroom, but worst comes to worst, I really need to inform the parents, because the students doesn't like their parents to know that they are deducted points for being disrespectful in the class, for example. So some of the students don't really like to be deducted with these points, and they would love to earn points, because by the time that the Class Dojo store will be open, they really enjoyed buying something or stuffs in the store. So still in the Class Dojo, so this is how my students earn their points. So for example, if they're coming early in the class, they will receive 3 points. If their camera is on all the time, they will receive 5 points, since we are doing hybrid learning right now. So it's a mixed or a combination of online and face-to-face. And then if ever I have games, so they will also be receiving points. So for example, if they won in the game, so they will have 5 points. Second place is 3 points. Third place is 1 point. Let's say we have our group activity. If they're helping others, that's 1 point. If they're on task, that's 1 point. Participating the lesson, that's 1 point. If they're persistent, 1 point. Student of the week, it's also 5 points. And then teamwork, it's 1 point. Working hard is 1 point. What's good here is the parents are also in this Class Dojo, so they will know if their kids are earning points or not. And then if ever the kids will misbehave, points will be deducted in their points. So if they're being disrespectful, that's minus 5 points. If they misbehave, that's minus 5 points. If they're off task, that's minus 5 points. So how do we know if the students are off task now that we are using the online platform of learning? So we also have the so-called Go Guardian, where we can monitor the kids if they are not doing their work. See for example, this one. So this is an example of a Go Guardian platform, where we can see the students if they're working or not. And then we can also set up the Go Guardian, like how many tabs are they going to open while you are having the class. You can also block the the YouTube, for example. So by disabling here, the scenes here, you can block this one, where it says pay attention, meaning the kids will be aware. So this is how the computers of the students look like. So that's it for the Go Guardian. So if you notice, the students have the same the same tab, so it means all of the students are on task.
Today, guys, and I hope that you've learned something out from our personal experiences as J-1 visa teachers here in New Mexico, USA, and we're looking forward to see you soon here. Stay safe and God bless everyone. Thank you.